Hi, my name's Catherine McNulty and I am the founder of Grief Inspired. I am creating a series of these videos really to share with you because they're really the result of what I needed and couldn't find when I had my own loss. So back in 2011, I lost my infant son, Jackson Robert. He was a premature infant. He lived for 6 weeks. We spent a beautiful 6 weeks in the NICU with him before he passed away. And so I'm very committed to sharing with you some of the things that you need to know if you're going through your own grief right now. And I'm sure that you've heard before about the different stages of grief, but what folks don't tell you and what you don't often read about in the literature if you've gone Googling looking for answers is that grief really comes in waves. And so typically you start out feeling as if being in a lot of denial about what's happened, about your loss. Like, I can't believe this happened is what you'll say to yourself. It just doesn't seem to make sense. At times you'll move into bargaining, and bargaining is where you're saying, well, what if this happened? What if I had done this? What if I had called them sooner? What if I had done this or that? For me, during my pregnancy, it was, what if I had taken better care of myself? Maybe I wouldn't have gone into premature labor. What if I had said something to the doctor sooner? Or what if we had transported him to a better hospital sooner? All those kind of what ifs are really the bargaining phase. And anger, I don't think I need to explain anger to you. If you know anger, I think it's completely justified. And there's a period of time when you get angry at a lot of different things. You get angry at the world, you get angry at God, you get angry at doctors, if doctors were involved, you get angry at the other people who might have been there, the people who weren't there. Anger is a very real part of grief, and oftentimes I know I personally felt very guilty for being as angry as I was. So I want you to know that the anger is very real and it's okay. You can apologize later if you need to, but let yourself feel the anger because it's a very real part of the grief process. Another one of the phases of grief is depression. I stayed depressed for a very, very long time. And it's really as you're starting to come to acceptance with what happened, because you miss the person that you've lost. I missed my son dearly, and I just couldn't believe that he was gone. And I wanted him back. And so because I couldn't have him, and because I couldn't change what had happened in my life, I spent a very long time depressed. And so with all of these phases, the phase I didn't talk about is acceptance, and that's kind of for down the road when you get to the point where you've sort of, been through the other phases and you come to the point where you say, okay, I need to process this. I've gotten through it. This is how I relate to the loss of my loved one. But I think the thing that's most important about the grief process is that it's not linear. You're not going to go from denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and then acceptance. It doesn't happen that way. So it'll come in phases, and you'll have days when you feel very good, where you feel like, oh my gosh, I might be able to be happy again. And sometimes you feel guilty because of that. But then there'll be something that will happen, and it'll push you all the way back, maybe into denial, maybe back into depression. Again, this is just, your mind has to wrap its head around what is going on. So I want to continue to reach out to you. Please comment on this video. Go to my grief support group at Grief Inspired Create Meaning in Loss, and we'll talk to you soon.